action. I think we got activity. I think we're alive.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
And on that note, we'll just get straight into it. And welcome back to another episode of JP and the Beanstalk.
Oh.
I'm Beans.
You bet.
And those beautiful harmonics that you heard before you heard me was from JP.
JP. There's a good energy in the gym. We're bringing it. Brought to you by Mason Jars, LaCroix, Wood Tables, and the World Series. That's right. We're sponsored by the Fall Classic. We don't sponsor them. They sponsor us. The World Series is just glad to have JP and the Beans.
We're legit. Corner. Yes, we are
legit.
legit.
Wichita State Shockers. Yeah. Great.
I think I'm doing that right.
You bet. How the Shockers
Shout out to Lily.
How the Shockers doing this?
They're on like a 7-win streak right now, I think.
Hello.
So yeah.
Wow.
Shout out to number 4.
There you go.
Just tearing it up.
Way to go. And I'm sure the Janesville Wildcats are doing work in the high school playoffs. They just typically do.
For football or volleyball?
I'm saying volleyball.
Okay, I was about to say football.
I wasn't going to go there.
We should
wasn't going to go there.
Well, but volleyball, I don't know.
Sidestep. Yeah,
I'm assuming they're all right. But
we'll say yes.
Anywho.
That's great.
But yes, volleyball.
Look
Lily's
at that.
doing
You come
well.
here for comics and volleyball. Good for Lily.
Yes.
Well done for her.
She got all her
Kudos
skills
to
and
you.
talents from me, so it makes sense.
I'm sure she would say the same
Yes,
thing.
she would say
Yeah,
that.
she wouldn't deny that at all. If we brought her on the microphone, put her on the record.
In her senior interview, I'm sure that'll come up.
Okay.
If she has one. I don't know.
Great.
I don't know how it works. ESPN will be like, how'd you get so good?
Maybe we conduct the interview.
We could conduct the interview.
We could then control the
narrative.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can just splice it so it
just keeps it more clear.
Makes sense,
It doesn't allow her the opportunity to say something mistaken, like, no, Riley had nothing to do with my development of skills.
Yep, and then
we wouldn't want that. That'd be terribly confusing.
Absolutely. Makes sense.
Outstanding. Love it. Hey, what should we talk about?
Well, did you want to go right into your comic first?
You know what? What a great idea. This is going to be a DC
Guys,
heavy podcast, yo.
We have DC content.
How about that?
We have DC content. You know, some stuff came out on the
Feels
shows,
great.
too, and we don't watch any of the shows. You and I should
don't.
bunker down and pick one, I
Think so?
Yeah.
Which show would you pick?
Well, I had one of our viewers recommend Titans.
Okay.
The live-action
Yes.
Titans.
Sure.
So, we can try that.
I think no matter what anyone would recommend, I would feel equally neutral.
Fair
towards.
enough. I
Heard the Young Justice cartoon is really cool, right?
yeah, that's phenomenal.
Yeah?
That one's
Okay.
a favorite of mine,
Okay.
personally. I haven't seen
Okay.
season 3 and season 4 is coming out.
Yep.
But I want to. We need to make a pact. Okay. I have no problem with any of these series, by the
Blood
way.
pack, should I go get the knives?
But yes, you should. I want to stay away from the CW verse. That just sounds like too much of a commitment at this point.
Yeah.
Like Titans is good because they're their own thing.
Sure.
Doom Patrol would be fine, I'm sure.
Yeah,
They
those
got
are
their
both
own thing.
HBO shows. You know, I got into Arrow when it first came out on the CW. Followed the first season and then didn't stay committed to it. But it was a good premise. I thought it was a fairly well made show, enough to keep me intrigued. And let's see, The Flash. Really enjoyed season 1 of The Flash. Really enjoyed that. And season 2 started and just didn't really seem to have the same level of quality, quite frankly. So chose not to stick with it. But season 1 will always be out there as hey, that was a really good season of superhero TV.
I think the last DC show I even watched was Gotham, and I didn't finish Gotham.
Okay.
Which it was kind of cool because you got to see all like the villains start
Yep.
up and see where
Yep.
they came from, and it's a young Jim Gordon.
Right.
And I love that actor who played Jim Gordon.
Sure.
But it's
Sure.
over now. I haven't seen. I think I got out at like the end of season 4,
Yep.
the end of season 5. I don't remember.
Yep.
But
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good topic. Titans. I'll keep that one in mind. I'm gonna dig around a little bit.
We'll just look into some stuff.
Yeah. I'm
We'll
almost
discuss.
a little more eager to get into like Young Justice because I know you're a huge fan. I've got a
I
couple other
fully
people that have
support this.
like highly recommended it, and I think I almost feel more like an animated series than a live action. Maybe I've been what ifed. Who knows? You know, maybe that has kind of seasoned me
As
a
a
little
guy,
bit for this.
as a guy who's obsessed with cartoons, this is good
Yeah,
news to me.
yeah, okay.
This is
okay.
good news to me.
This is unofficially official. I think we're going to get into Young Justice or something like that. So, what a great start.
I may have a website too.
Fantastic. So yeah, DC Fandome occurred in the not too distant past, so very fresh content for us to
dive into.
Yes.
But
it's going to be fantastic.
Stay thirsty. We're going to get into the comics.
Yeah, so we need to jump back on that Green Lantern bandwagon. Took a podcast episode off to really give some time to Venom versus Carnage. There you go. So again, for those of you catching up or needing a refresher, which is fair, we're going through the Jeff Johns run of Green Lantern. Fantastic stuff. We began with Green Lantern Rebirth, seeing the character of Hal Jordan reintroduced back into the DC universe after a substantial hiatus, after Hal Jordan has been returned, or rebirthed, if you will. The Green Lantern Corps has also slowly and steadily been rebuilt with new recruits coming in, getting trained by none other than our guy Kilowog himself, who we touched on a couple episodes ago. Great guy, that Kilowog. How did you describe him? You had the perfect description for what Kilowog looked like. You know what? I'm not even going to put Riley on the spot. You go back a couple episodes. You fish that out yourselves because it was a fantastic description. I feel like there was Bulldog in there. Bulldog mixed with something.
I want to say it had something to do with the Mickey Mouse villain Pete.
Oh my gosh, that's what it was. That's straight up what it was.
I don't remember what I mixed it with,
No, but that's great. Enough of a reference right there. Fantastic on your part.
Because his voice is usually about similar to that.
Jeez. Incredible. And it's so on point because I have young children that are currently watching Mickey Mouse cartoons, and Pete is in there.
Yeah, and
Pete's there. It's Kilowog, you guys. Like, you refer to him as Pete, but I see Kilowog. So
as he just beats the shit out of Mickey Mouse.
Yes. That'd be a tough, tough one to explain to the kids.
That'd be a great episode.
Let me tell you why this is happening, kids. So, anywho, we had Rebirth, we had No Fear, and now we have Revenge of the Green Lanterns. Now, time out. What kind of vengeance are we talking about? Well, the best kind, against our hero, Hal Jordan. So again, before Hal Jordan was killed or disappeared from the DC landscape for a while, he went nuts, was possessed by Parallax, and as a result, attacked, among other people and entities, the Green Lantern Corps, seemingly killing dozens of his fellow Green Lanterns, wrecking the green power battery on Oa, and tearing down the Green Lantern Corps to the bare bones, to the point where it just didn't exist anymore outside of a few torchbearers, if you will, Kyle Rayner, Guy Gardner, John Stewart. So now this particular collection of stories, its backbone is dealing with a Green Lantern coming to Earth, where Hal Jordan, of course, is hanging out, in a spaceship, and it's one of the Green Lanterns that Hal Jordan thought, hey, I killed this guy years ago, but no, he's alive, and he's trying to find Hal Jordan to take him down. So it leads Hal Jordan to go, time out. If my guy Tomar is alive, that could mean all the other Green Lanterns are alive. So not to completely spoil the story, but our guy Hal Jordan, alongside Guy Gardner, go on the hunt for the missing, presumed dead, Green Lanterns. And they run into your boy Cyborg Superman. Always a, tough hang, not a real great guy, half cyborg, half Superman, all crazy.
I'm about to say, didn't he used to think he was Superman and then found out he's a robot and then kind of went off the wire? Yeah,
never really been on the level, as it were. But lo and behold, Hal Jordan discovers that indeed his Green Lantern homies are still amongst the living, being held captive by Cyborg Superman, who is building up the army of Manhunters. As you may recall from a couple episodes ago, the Manhunters came to Earth, and it's Cyborg Superman that's pulling their strings, directing them, building up this whole host, this whole army of Manhunters. So,
moral of the story, don't trust robots.
Don't trust them. Just don't do it.
Don't trust robots.
So Hal Jordan and Guy Gardner, of course, embark on a quest to free the captive Green Lanterns. Excellent story. Mixed in here as well are a couple of outstanding stories of pair-ups with Green Lantern and Green Arrow, whole lot of green, as they take on Mongol. This particular story takes place around the same time as the Infinite Crisis, which is one of Jeff Johns' earlier DC works. Good story. Little tricky to get into if you don't know your DC history. There's a lot going on
There's nothing
in there.
There's nothing more confusing than the DC multiverse.
Oh, especially when they go, hey, we're doing a
Reboot again.
Crisis. It's like,
New 52 coming at you. And then, guess what? Rebirth.
Yeah. Still a good read. I would still recommend primarily because it introduces one of the characters that we're really going to get to know well come Sinestro Corps War, which is Superboy Prime. Okay? Superboy Prime, real quick aside, at the time of this story, Revenge of the Green Lantern, he is being held captive by the Guardians on Oa because in the story, Infinite Crisis, Superboy Prime, essentially a Superboy from a different universe than our own.
Not a cool Superboy, by the way.
Not a cool one. No. Quickly turns pretty bad pretty fast.
Tyrant?
Kills
Tyrannical?
a ton of folks. Not just hurts or maims, like just straight up kills. Like in Infinite Crisis, he is just
genocidal.
Oh, it's real tough. Real tough. To the point, like, he even kills the Superman from his universe. Not great. And he kills a ton of Green Lanterns, so the Green Lanterns take it upon themselves to disarm, subdue, and put him into captivity. Trouble is, as all good villains do, they can't be held down forever, which we'll see in Sinestro Corps War. All right, so Infinite Crisis, good way to get an idea of who the flip is Superboy Prime. But anyhow, so he's involved a little bit here with the Infinite Crisis storyline. That's where Green Arrow and Green Lantern hang out. Good to see the two of them get together because Green Arrow is one of the few members of the Justice League that when Hal Jordan came back, he was a big part of that Rebirth story because he believed in Hal Jordan in spite of the most recent history of Hal Jordan being possessed by Parallax, going nuts and
blowing up a city.
Yeah, not really doing a lot of good things.
No.
So very important relationship to the character of Hal Jordan. Another really unexpected and yet enjoyable partnership is Green Lantern and Batman. Straight up. There's a really awesome scene where Green Lantern has Batman put on the Green Lantern ring.
I saw that.
Pretty
Great
cool
panel.
moment.
Beautifully drawn.
Really cool moment. So some good, really well-written building of relationship between those two characters. And frankly, the characters of Green Lantern and Batman have always been just ripe to butt heads because Batman, right, is based on a lot of what his, what do I want to say, a lot of his aura, right? A lot of his
arrogant
persona can be, but it's based on fear, right? He's instilling fear in his opponents, in his enemies. Hal Jordan, one of his greatest strengths and assets is he's frankly just not afraid of almost anything. And so he doesn't really respect Batman's approach. Batman, however, also doesn't respect Hal Jordan's approach because, yes, we can say Batman's an arrogant asshole, but
so is Hal.
So is Hal.
Hal's also an arrogant asshole.
So as it turns out, yeah, there's a lot of clashing there.
Two people are very much alike.
A lot of natural clashing there. So very cool to see them pair up successfully, taking on the tattooed man, and in turn gaining a little bit of respect for one another. Even if they're never going to call each other best buds, they come at the end of that story, and they're certainly in a healthier place in terms of their relationship than they were at the conclusion of Rebirth, where Hal Jordan just clocked Batman across the jaw and said, you know, Bruce, I really just don't give a heck about what you think. So, great content for my money out of all of the pre-Sinestro Corps War collections. This one's the best.
Yeah.
A lot of great art. The stories from start to finish are all very strong. The rest of the collections, there's plenty of strong stories in there, but there's usually one that you're going, yeah, what? What was that about? I don't know. So, a lot of good stuff in here. Revenge of the Green Lanterns. Again, Jeff Johns, his Green Lantern run. Can't recommend it enough. And a real quick aside, while I was, sitting up last night.
Oh, I saw that.
Paging through this, I got to give a quick shout out to this gem as well. Batman Dark Victory. So, Batman, The Long Halloween, has recently been developed and released as a animated 2-part movie. Have you watched that?
I haven't seen it. Have you?
No.
I heard it's... I haven't heard anything on it, to be honest with you.
Neither have I. I want to watch it. The graphic novel Long Halloween is outstanding. So, among other things, it's an origin of Harvey Dent becoming Two-Face. You can tell a lot of influence from the Dark Knight movie came from that particular graphic novel, especially in terms of the relationship between Batman, Harvey Dent, and Jim Gordon. So a lot of great stuff in that graphic novel. Just basically this big, just a tragedy, right? It's Harvey Dent becoming Two-Face. That's not a happy, feel-good story. Dark Victory picks up right where The Long Halloween left off, so it's a continuation of that story, and it is just as strong as The Long Halloween. I don't think it gets nearly as much run or recognition as The Long Halloween, which again is outstanding, so not diminishing that, but Dark Victory is fantastic. One of its strongest aspects is that it is an origin story for your boy Dick Grayson coming into the frame.
Oh, that's
as
Dick.
The first Robin. Yes.
I was thinking this was going to be Damian.
Yeah, there are some just beautiful panels in this particular graphic novel where when Bruce Wayne first takes Dick Grayson into his home as his ward, so go this direction, go the other direction a few pages, and it's juxtaposing Alfred listening to Bruce as a young boy, kind of in a flashback mode, right? Bruce talking about shortly after his parents had died, how he felt like he was alone, abandoned, very sad. And it's Dick Grayson walking through Wayne Manor, going through a very similar stage in his life. And it's really powerful stuff. Yeah, really good stuff. And Alfred rises to the occasion, brings Dick Grayson into the fold. And so a lot of good things to be had in Dark Victory, Long Halloween. So I would say watch the movie. I'm sure the movie, especially considering they turned it into 2 parts, each about an hour and a half long, I'm sure it's a great adaptation. But if you're looking for a solid graphic novel, Long Halloween was what got me. I don't remember what it was that drew me to it initially, but once I read that is for me where I started reading comics and just eating them up.
Now,
it was outstanding.
Heads up on all that stuff. The Long Halloween is like known for its like different artwork.
Yes.
It's gonna be different and it's a little bit of an adjustment, but it works for the story. Secondly, I don't know enough about the Long Halloween, but the course of the way the last few DC animated movies have been going, it's not going to be an accurate visual.
Right.
So it will not be oh, this is the comic brought to life. They're going to do a lot of what was inspired by it, but there's probably going to be a few twists because because I watched the Hush movie. I actually own the Hush movie.
Right.
And that did not end the way the comic book did, and I was disappointed. So just know that might be different going in.
And that was the same with The Killing Joke as well, right?
Well,
maybe not the ending, but just...
No. So The Killing Joke, we'll get into this real quick, because this really, really pissed me off, okay?
We got some Taskmaster vibes coming.
So
here we go.
I watched this movie, rated R, in the theater when it came out.
Really?
And I was like, oh, rated R, that's sweet. Like, they're going to no hold bar.
Yeah.
Okay. The first 30 minutes were a gigantic waste of time. For some reason, they're like, you know what? Let's make this have a romance side. And we're going to have Barbara Gordon and Bruce Wayne just have some fun on a roof. Yeah, that was the first 30 minutes. And then they're like, okay, let's get into the story now. What? So that's my beef with that. And also, the softest R rating I've ever seen for a movie. It should have been PG-13.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Done with that.
Fair.
Also, if you're a fan of the Injustice video games and the comic books, from what I've heard, I haven't seen it yet, stay away from that movie. I heard that movie is god awful. I heard it's terrible. Like, it does not like they said they divert so much from the comic, it's not even worth it.
Sure. And here's just a really good rule of thumb, right? Anytime you've got something that is an adaptation, anything, live action movie adaptation of whether it's a comic, piece of literature, this is just a fresh topic with Dune having recently come out, which, by the way, haven't seen, not going to spoil it here, but I have read the book Dune. If something is adapting some source material, if you want to guarantee that you're going to get something worthwhile, go to the source material. There's a reason it's being adapted into some kind of a film, because the source material is tremendous. Sometimes the film can duplicate that success and be just as worthwhile, but it's by no means an every time exchange. It's frankly more rare that it hits the true spirit of the source material well. So can't recommend Long Halloween, Dark Victory, the graphic novels enough. Maybe watch the movies. Maybe it'll be fine. But to your point with the artwork, so Jeff Loeb, Tim Sale. Tim Sale's the name of the artist. Very unique.
It's
artistic
very
style.
different.
Very different.
I remember watching a while ago the Long Halloween story get broke down. I'm watching the artwork. I'm like, this is really creepy.
It is. It is. It fits perfectly.
The Joker alone.
Whoa. It fits really well with this particular style of storytelling, where it's a darker tone. It is a little creepy. The two of these guys paired up for a number of Marvel kind of one-shot releases. So Daredevil Yellow, Spider-Man Blue, Hulk Gray.
Oh, just recently, right?
Sometime within the last decade. Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, you talked to me about this.
Yeah.
I remember this now.
Great comics in their own right. But so they're a pretty frequent collaborative pair. Captain America White was another one. But yeah, Tim Sale he's got a style of his own. It's not, there are times, and I think this Batman story with Dark Victory and Long Halloween, where it's as tight as it gets. There are times where I've seen his artwork and it's just a little sloppy, because it's always borderline a little sloppy. But anyway, good stuff in here. Yeah, love your little plug for the source material. That's right.
Yeah, and then one more thing to add too is what I've been doing for movies now. Okay, new movies, especially for characters I absolutely love, so like Spider-Man or whatever. I have now I basically, for superhero fans, that's how they should look at it. Okay, right. Whatever they're making, Shazam movie, a new animated series, just treat it like a new universe, because you're not going to be disappointed as much if they don't follow the exact source material. Because if they make Tim Drake just a dumb idiot, then you're not gonna feel bad. It's gonna be a different universe. I mean, you're still gonna be pissed off, but you're gonna be less pissed off if you just get that in your head. Okay, this is a different take. Yep. This is a different universe. This is not affecting the main universe. If I really want that material, I'm gonna go straight to the comics and screw this bullshit. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a good point. I think we've touched on this before, but it's great to come back to and kind of remind ourselves and remind our listeners that, listen, whenever you're seeing whatever it is, live action movie, animated movie, or even reading a comic, what you are getting is that author or that director or that screenwriter's version of the character, right? So there's that main highway, if you will, of, hey, these are the few tenets that you have to have in order to truly have this character say, hey, I'm telling a Batman story. But then there are so many authors that have come into the character of Batman and put their own twist on it. And it doesn't mean you have to embrace all of them, right? There are some that you can read, watch, whatever, and go, that really wasn't my cup of tea. But part of what is so enjoyable about comics is that you have just a myriad of voices that have taken their opportunity to tell a story with that character, and sometimes they absolutely knock it out of the park. And that's where comics, I think, get really enjoyable and really rich, is when a new author, new voice comes in, tells a story about that character in a unique way, or adds something to that character we haven't seen before that is really worthwhile. Now, there's times where it just doesn't land and it doesn't work. It's too far of a departure, right? Where you're going, okay, wait a minute, this barely even resembles the character that I know and enjoy. So it doesn't always work, but that is part of what makes comics so unique. So when it hits, it's glorious. When it doesn't, it's disappointing.
And that's why some because some heroes and stuff, they just need a new voice anyways.
Yep.
Because they're dull.
They're stale.
Aquaman, Superman.
Yep.
Superman is boring, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I can do it all. Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Struggle a little bit.
Yep. Need more than that, no doubt. Awesome. Hey, that's some great comics content. Let's stay on that DC train, but transition into some straight up live action content, boys and girls.
And a lot of it.
Wow.
Wow. DC, thank you. We have something to talk about finally.
You bet. So DC Fandome a couple weeks ago dropped a new trailer for Matt Reeves' The Batman, set to come out, was it March, I believe, of 2022. So in the not too distant future, as we're recording this on October 26th, last I knew it hadn't been moved back, but we're living in a world where things get pushed back on the regular. So hold on to those release
Marvel
dates
slate
loosely. Yeah, we can get into that. Let's start there. We'll also get into teases. Didn't have any official trailers. We had some footage for the new Flash movie, for the new Shazam movie, the new Aquaman movie,
the new League of Super Pets movie.
Yep, probably not going to talk about that one.
Not? Oh, I thought you were looking forward to that one.
Okay, we'll talk about it. the new Black Adam movie. So a lot of exciting topics. Great to see some fresh life in the DC cinematic universe.
Thank God.
So let's start with the meat and taters. All right, as we're about a month out from Thanksgiving season, which it must be stated.
God.
Listen, Thanksgiving, grandest holiday there is. I'll fight anyone who disagrees.
I agree with you entirely.
Absolutely, it's the best. It's the best.
The only one that contends with it is Christmas.
Christmas is a close second, but Thanksgiving, it's so pure. Listen, we're getting together. We're going to eat, and then we're going to nap. We're going to wake up, and we're going to eat again.
And don't forget about football.
And there's football on all day.
It is a glorious day.
It's perfect. It's perfect. So, love that that's coming down the pike. So, with that Thanksgiving turkey, mashed potatoes, and stuffing, you're a big stuffing guy.
I'm a huge stuffing guy.
Let's get into the stuffing of the Batman trailer. All right? What did you think? Solid 2 minutes plus of largely fresh, new footage. What'd you think, Riles?
I think the Riddler's going to be a good villain.
Woo!
I gotta remember what happened in that trailer. Well, that's what I have to remember.
Riddler, I mean, they're treating him a lot right now from a marketing perspective, as I recall that they treated the Joker in The Dark Knight, where you just didn't see a lot of the Joker, at least in the initial trailers. My guess is we'll see more of the Riddler in whatever final trailer they release before the movie comes out in March. But boy, they're showing so little of the Riddler. We're hearing a little bit from our guy Paul Dano. Great choice, like total. The guy is perfect at playing creepy people, and this version of the Riddler looks thoroughly creepy. They didn't even show his face. I mean, we're just seeing some side profiles.
And it's the weird bandage wraps. Or the bag over his head.
Very, very different.
Like, where's the hat and the cane?
I don't think we're getting that. I don't think we're getting the.
Oh, you don't think we're getting
Joker.
that?
No.
Ah, that's such a shame. But no, what I will say,
Batman Forever will be out there. You know, Val Kilmer, Jim Carrey,
Colin Farrell.
Yes.
His Penguin, I think, will be really good. That might be up there as the best adaptation.
Great call. Yeah.
Like the whole thing, and it looks like
it doesn't look like Colin Farrell.
No, it doesn't. It
doesn't look like Colin Farrell at all.
And I think watching him and Carmine Falcone fight it out in the gang wars will be really interesting, and it'll be fun to see how the Riddler plays in.
Yep.
But and then Catwoman looked good too, obviously.
Yeah. I'm super intrigued by this movie. What do I want to say? This most recent trailer just really cut loose with the anger of Batman. Like, this is not as it was portrayed in this trailer, a very
mentally stable,
in control version of Bruce Wayne or Batman. Like, he just comes across as pissed and you give him something to hit, he's just going to say, thank you, I would love to, and just smoke it. So yeah, seems like a very angry, very angry young man. The end of the trailer where he crashes Penguin's car, flips it over, and he's just strutting towards the Penguin's overturned vehicle.
So badass.
Woo!
So bad. Also, the whole clip.
Ooh.
That's why I had to like rewatch some images. But that whole other clip where he's just getting machine gunned into the suit and doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything to him and just smashing them both.
Not even bothering to dodge, right? Like,
oh yeah, he doesn't care. There's no need for it to be meticulous here.
Just straight up bull in the china shop right now.
I'm actually really, really hyped about this movie.
Yeah.
Here's
where I'm at with it, right? I absolutely cherish the Dark Knight trilogy with Christian Bale as Batman. It's one of my favorite trilogies of all time. So here's how it goes for me, right? Lord of the Rings trilogy, number 1. Dark Knight trilogy, number 2.
Okay.
All right. So I don't think this movie is going to impact that, right? What I'm excited for with this movie is what we just touched on with, hey, different authors, different writers, screenwriters, different directors coming into characters telling their version of a character's story. I'm excited for that with this movie, that this is going to be another version of Batman. So it's not trying, I don't think it's trying to be like, hey, this is the definitive, this is that highway right down the middle Batman. It's like, this is an offshoot off that highway. Here's another version of who Batman could be. And I'm very excited for it in that context.
I think what makes me the most excited is it feels like they're really taking the time to build this world for Batman.
Yeah.
And like the play box. And they picked such a young guy to play Batman. I honestly think this might be the best chance we have at watching Batman grow and then watching the Bat family actually have an effect, you know? And I think because obviously somebody's going to get set up as the next villain for the next movie. I don't know who or where. You know, a lot of time, like a lot for this first, like the first trailer when that dropped, a lot of people were thinking the Court of Owls are going to come in and play in this movie, which would be another great like villain to touch on because or villain group, I guess. To say, but
shout out to Scott Snyder, by the way. Well done at creating just an iconic, modern, fresh villain for Batman to deal with.
Oh yeah,
that's hard. Like that's a hard character who already has like the most robust rogues gallery in all of comics to go, you know what? I'm not going to take any of the roads well traveled. I'm creating my own path. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But like I'm saying, like. This, I think this just has the biggest potential because I don't think Pattinson's going to be like, I don't want a Robin. You know, I think we have that potential to really build, and maybe we have Dick Grayson, or maybe they just go straight to Nightwing, and I'm okay with that too.
Sure.
I don't need a Dick Grayson Robin on the screen.
I gotcha.
I'd honestly rather have a Damian Wayne. Or a Tim Drake for a little bit, and then a Damian Wayne.
There you go. Love that perspective. That's outstanding. Outstanding to consider. This is a very young version of Batman that, at least how it's being portrayed, I think in hindsight, like the Dark Knight trilogy, it's like, man, Batman got old pretty fast, right? Like his career was quick. And as a quick aside, I didn't mind that. Like I felt like that fit well with that world of, hey, we're trying to fit Batman into our world as if Batman could exist. Here's what it would look like.
Yeah.
Probably true that he's not going to be the Batman for 2 decades or indefinitely. It's like there's going to be a definitive start and a definitive end. It's going to finish in that about 8 to 9 year block. Okay, fair enough. That's great. That's that version, right? This version of Batman, I would love to see him hang around for a while. Would love to see the young Batman, as you're saying, grow with the Bat family, have that expand, because that has been probably the most enjoyable aspect of the Batman character over the last 10 years. Like ever since the New 52 breathed some really, I think, fresh life into that character, the Bat family had an opportunity to take on a more significant role in the Batman world. And we were all, as the readers, better off for it. Like, it was great.
I mean, you get to watch... What's so great about it is you get to watch this character that, for the longest time, was known for being like, I work alone.
Yep.
And all this stuff. And you watch him pretty much adopt every orphan in the city of Gotham, train them up
Feels that way.
to be like high-powered vigilantes, and then runs the city. But it also opens up this opportunity to see, like, okay, you have your... I know they're doing a Batgirl movie, but it has this opportunity to be like, okay, here's Red Hood. Here's him running around as the Outlaws.
Sure.
We'll have Robert Pattinson's Batman pop in for 20 minutes total in the movie, just so his influence is still there, and, you know, he's still operating, and they have that relationship. It's just... It opens... Because you need Batman for those characters.
You do.
You need Batman for Dick Grayson.
Yep.
You need Batman for... You need Batman for Batgirl.
Yep.
And all... Yeah. So I'm very excited. I think there has a lot of potential. And I also think, because... And this will take us into the next movie. But I also think with the new Flash coming out, I know they said that their main goal is to fix the universe with that movie.
Right.
I would not be surprised if this is the way they have a send-off for Michael Keaton's Batman and a send-off for Ben Affleck's Batman, because I know Ben Affleck's Batman's in it.
Right.
And I think after the reboot, boom, I think they will just establish Christian Bale as a Batman. That's a bold
Christian Bale
guess.
or Robert Pattinson?
Or not, sorry.
Yeah.
Robert Pattinson.
Okay. I thought I knew
they
what
will
you meant.
establish Robert Pattinson as their Batman.
Little Freudian slip.
Because I think it's really stupid if they're going to keep Ben Affleck around as that Batman for that universe and not use him. Because I'm pretty sure he's done, isn't he? After this one.
Why would he not be?
Exactly.
I can't think
my
of a
point.
compelling reason for him to stick around. I mean, that's its own topic, right? How
they said Robert.
We'll get into that a little bit. I gotta stay focused on this Batman movie
because they said
before we get too far into the universe piece, because there's a couple other positives. You mentioned Colin Farrell's the Penguin, looked outstanding. Zoe Kravitz's Catwoman. It's a very not comic book look for Catwoman.
Yet.
Yep.
But we already get to see that romance starting to form, and I think we're going to have that throughout all the Batman movies too, which is something that was missed.
Yep. Love the casting of Jeffrey Wright as Jim Gordon. That's outstanding.
It'll be interesting to see if they have a young Barbara Gordon.
Sure. Yep. Love Andy Serkis as Alfred.
I do too.
That's great.
That's a really cool one.
Oh, that's great.
That's not something that I knew I wanted until it happened. To be honest with you.
So,
and he definitely can bring that badass vibe to Alfred too, where he's like, you know what? I'm not afraid to use a gun.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
I enjoy Batman so much in this kind of category of story where he is fighting against the street level villains, right? There's not villains that he's going up against with superpowers. Like that's where Batman, I think, is just most enjoyable, where it's as much about his wits and his abilities as a detective as it is his brawn, right? I mean, that's part of where the character of Batman is so fascinating. Is it's not just that he's bigger and stronger; it's that he outsmarts these guys. He outsmarts the villains. That's part of what was great about Scott Snyder's run on Batman. Is there was plenty of cosmic conflict. But the best part of his run, which is, I think, one of the best, if not the best Batman run, was it's grounded in he has to win these mental battles against the Joker, the Riddler, the Court of Owls, so many adversaries, and that seems to be where we're headed with this version of the Batman character. It's keeping us grounded, right? Which is not where Ben Affleck's Batman lived. Not his fault. Not Ben Affleck's fault. Okay, that's our boy Zack Snyder. We won't go too far down that path today. But I'm not trying to get us down there, but I'm trying to say I'm excited about that for this movie. It seems like we're living in a really good pocket.
I think that's what they said. They wanted to drive the point home. They wanted to be like, this is a detective movie.
Yep.
You're going to watch him be the world's greatest detective, which I'm super duper excited about. I mean, and it looks like even while he's being a detective, he's going to beat the shit out of some people. So, plus.
Wow.
This might be the most violent Batman we've
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I remember Christian Bale beating up people, but this Batman is brutal. I'm so excited.
There's that clip in the trailer where he is just getting after a dude, and Catwoman, like, it shows her face for a minute looking, like, just looking on, going like, whoa, little far here, bud. Like, that's kind of the vibe of, hey, pause, friend to friend, pause. He's down, you got him.
I love violence.
Woo! You do, you really do. So
I'm so excited.
Kudos to the trailer. I think it accomplished what any good marketing campaign for a movie wants to, which is inject some legit enthusiasm for that movie. The first trailer was fine, but
it was a good teaser.
It was a teaser. It showed the design, and it was hard just based on the first trailer to really get that enthusiastic, I think, about this movie, because the style seems so scaled back, so early years, which can work. But I remember watching that first teaser, that first trailer, going, feels like they went a little too far with, hey, we're trying to strip it down and bring it to the street level. This brought a little more confidence. They showed us more, and now that we've seen more, it didn't change that perspective of the street level, but I think it helped enhance the value and the merit of what they're trying to accomplish. And it looks great.
Like, we're getting, like, just from that trailer, you're like, okay, who's the Riddler? Like, that's the whole thing we're going into, and why is he doing what he's doing? Why is he orchestrating a gang war? I'm assuming that's what he's doing.
Well, and even like Robert Pattinson, not who I would have assumed at all, as far as who are we casting as the next Bruce Wayne. Like, the whole Batman thing, you can stick just about anybody in a Batman suit, but that portrayal of Bruce Wayne is such a critical aspect of those movies, part of what Christian Bale did so phenomenally well. So I am,
that'll be interesting.
My heart is open to Mr. Bob Pattinson. Go ahead and take my Batman heart, Bob. Let's see what you got, baby.
I think only his close friends are allowed to call him Bob.
This is where I tell you that Bob and I are close.
Old Bobby P.
Close. Old Bobby P.
Old
Bobby P. So, no, I am looking forward to it. I think they got a killer Alfred, which that was such a fun aspect of. It's such a great part of any good Batman comic when Batman's got a good Alfred at his side.
Good Alfred banter.
Yes, it's outstanding. And I think we're going to get a really robust batch of banter from Bobby P.
And Andy Serkis.
I'm very excited for. I think those are the two characters that I'm most excited to see interact with one another.
Really?
You bet. Love me some Batman and Alfred. So very excited. Very excited for that.
And we're getting a Gotham PD show in this universe afterwards.
Oh, man.
So I don't know what they're going to do with that, but I'm very curious.
I'm in. So very excited. Great content. Well done, Mr. Matt Reeves. Looks good, man. Let's hope that here in about 4 to 5 months when we reach that March 2022 date that we're just as excited.
I will be wearing a diaper just in case.
Wise. Way to be proactive.
Because I think I'm going to shit myself.
Exactly. No, I understood.
From excitement.
What you meant. Right. From excitement. From the thrill. That's great. So you teased it a little bit. Let's hit on that little Flash piece, right? Because Flash. Now, to clarify, none of the remaining movies, Flash, Aquaman, Shazam: The Fury of the Gods, which is the sequel to the Shazam movie, and then Aquaman: The Lost Kingdom. None of these 4 films did we get a legit, true teaser trailer. Yeah. And we can have some gripes with that. It's like, okay, DC, you've got your own event. How are you not prepared at this point for at least a couple of these movies to have teaser trailers? They went 1 for 5.
Yeah, we're in post-production, but we don't have a trailer for you yet.
What?
That was for every single one of them.
All of them.
And the only reason they got away with the Batman is because that's been in post-production for over 6 months.
Jeepers, kid.
You know what I mean?
Yep, no doubt. I'm trying to think of what that felt like. That felt like...
Honestly...
underwhelming.
It felt like getting the Lego Death Star for Christmas, but only getting the first 10 pieces.
Ouch.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's a full product out there, and we know it's going to be good, but...
You're like, I only got some of the stuff, guys.
Here
Where's the rest of
is
it?
the satellite. You can build that, and then you have to wait for the rest of the...
It's like being given a Lego set, but then just been given the instructions. Like, none of the pieces.
That's actually more fair.
Right?
That's better.
Well, you got me started. I feel like I just had to take it to the finish line. Like, you're given the instructions, you're like, so can I build it? Like, where are the pieces?
You're like, oh, you can't see that yet.
Awesome.
It's not ready.
Awesome.
They're not. It's not done being built
We
yet.
got the set. We just don't have the pieces for you.
The plastic hasn't fully dried.
Oh my gosh. So anyway, that gripe aside, what we did get to see, okay, good content for us to discuss. What were your initial thoughts on what we saw from the Flash teaser? Michael Keaton voiceover got me excited. That's great.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Like,
don't ever lie to me.
I haven't seen the Justice League movie, but I am not excited for Ezra Miller at all as the Flash.
Have you still not seen like any of the Justice League movie? No. Like the original or the Zack Snyder?
No.
Okay.
I have not.
Okay.
So
this is where the podcast ends.
But I see him come on there, and maybe I'm just not a big Ezra Miller fan in general. I haven't seen what he's in outside of the Flash. But, like,
nor I.
I'm not, like, enthused. And they also showed, like, instead of having the reverse Flash, it looks like they have a different timeline version of Ezra Miller's Flash.
Yep.
Which I'm like, why?
Don't you think the reverse Flash has to show up in there sometime?
Okay, pardon my French, but they fucking better put the reverse Flash in there. It's the damn Flashpoint movie. That's the whole thing.
Right.
Like,
right.
And they're going to give us some battered and broken other version of Barry Allen, and that's going to be our reverse Flash, and then I'm going to be disappointed again.
What I'm hearing is that you're skeptical.
I'm very skeptical. The only good, and you know what? I'm not as hyped about Michael Keaton because I can't remember. I don't even know if I've seen the Michael Keaton Batman.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know. So
that's
I can't,
fair.
And I know he was like a good Batman from what I've heard.
Yeah.
But like,
yeah,
I don't have that background for him, so I might
fair.
I might go back and watch those. Is it 2 movies?
2 movies.
I might go back and watch those 2 movies and see how he did. But
just Batman and then Batman Returns.
Because I'm gonna be honest with you, the next like Batman thing I want to see Michael Keaton do is a Batman Beyond movie and just have him be an old Bruce Wayne. And they bring in like a young gun for Terry McGinnis.
Yep.
That's what I would like to see him in. And then you bring like a live action. You bring in a live action Mark Hamill as the Joker, an old Joker.
Ooh,
that's a movie that I can get behind.
I like where you're headed with this.
But
I love it. Batman Beyond's a great concept,
but I can't take credit for that full idea. But my point is, like, I would have rather seen that than like, because now I'm trying to think we have a Batman that's 70 years old and still running around as Batman, and yet we had freaking Christian Bale's die or not die. It depends on how you interpret the ending. But retired.
Yep.
But it's just.
I don't think he's 70 years old. I think, so we didn't see a lot, right? So we don't have, all that we have that we can really take away from the story, largely based off of the voiceover work from Michael Keaton, whose version of Batman is talking to Barry Allen, is we know that this Flash has the ability and is somewhat well practiced at jumping from one universe to another.
Which again, how do you just practice that in his
free
time? Is the cosmic treadmill real?
We don't know.
That'd be cool.
We'll see. But we see multiple versions, I think 3 altogether, of Barry in this little teaser.
Oh, it was 3.
Mm-hmm.
One of them.
I think it was 3 altogether.
One of them is evil. The other one will die, and the main one will live.
Spoilers, man.
I'm just telling you right now.
I know.
You can call it.
I think he jumps into the universe of Michael Keaton's Batman. I don't know where
time-wise it would be.
Right.
You think they're going to de-age him?
They could. The technology's there. They could do that effectively. Do I think that's really the direction they're going to go? No. No, not necessarily. But I don't think, like Michael Keaton, kudos to you, Mr. Keaton, he's aged well enough.
Oh, I agree.
That you put him on the screen, you're not looking, It's a 7-year-old dude, right? Like
Batman has a cane.
You could convince us that Michael Keaton is in his late 40s. All right, we can get on board with that.
Alfred, where's the Batwalker? It's over here, sir.
And he's like, he's got a powered wheelchair,
and he's yelling at nobody because Alfred's dead at this point.
Ouch. Sad ending. Sad ending. But so we don't know where those two characters are intersecting, or frankly, why. Right? Now, here's my concern. The source material they're basing this off of. I'm not a big fan of the Flashpoint story.
Really?
Really. Now, this may be a case of hype not meeting expectation. Okay?
Okay.
Or hype not meeting reality. I remember hearing a lot of people losing their minds with the Flashpoint story, and then I read it and thought, really? That we made a huge deal out of this? It's fine. I think part of why it got so hyped is that it kicked off the New 52.
Yeah.
But I'm not convinced that on its own merits, as its own story, it's not one of my personal favorites. It's fine. Read it, own it. So it's good. I just don't think it is all-time great story material.
I think a lot of it's to do with why it did so well is the concepts it brought in. Mm-hmm. We get to see a Thomas Wayne be Batman because instead Bruce was the only one that got shot. And I think that might be my main issue with this being a Flashpoint movie, is that they are going totally off the rails with this and they aren't following it. Like, I feel like it's a missed
And you would want them to follow it.
Yeah, because I feel like well, to a degree. Like, I would love to see Thomas Wayne Batman.
Yep.
The guy, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, is the guy who played...
Thomas Wayne,
and he wanted to play Thomas Wayne, so you had
an
easy in for that.
Yep.
I would have liked to see that dynamic between him and his Martha being the Joker.
Yep.
I would have liked to see... Well, I would have liked to see Reverse Flash. Hopefully we do get Reverse Flash.
I think we'll get there.
I hope so. Mm-hmm. But I also... They have two great actors right now playing Wonder Woman and Aquaman, and they're not going to touch on the war that goes on. That's phenomenal. Can you imagine both of them being they're almost like tyrants, but pretty much like Wonder Woman holding the head of Mara and then just one shot.
It's pretty heavy.
Because, that's the whole point of why Flashpoint hits so hard is because he just goes back to save his mom.
Right.
And then when he comes back, he comes to
the unintended consequences are huge.
He deals with those consequences and then has to go back and then, so that's where it...
Much smaller scale. Like, if they're really going to... They really
that's
shouldn't...
My problem.
With the title of the movie, they really shouldn't... what am I trying to say? Marketing-wise, they should get as far away as they can from the Flashpoint comic. I just don't see how it benefits them, because you're absolutely right. That is a big piece of the Flashpoint comic, is it's huge in scale. It's not just localized to the Flash. The point is his localized action has global consequences. And I don't think they can effectively do that with this movie. So don't even say, hey, we're basing it off of Flashpoint. Like, just call it the Flash movie.
Then don't call it Flashpoint. I agree. Right. Don't call it Flashpoint at all, because... In that sense, I think the only reason it is called Flashpoint is because this is their reboot. Flashpoint for the comics was their reboot.
Right. I don't think they're calling it the Flashpoint officially. I think it's just the Flash.
I thought they did call it Flashpoint.
I think it's just the Flash right now.
I want you to Google that.
Dude, I'll Google it.
I want you to Google it. Because if they do call it Flash... Because I thought they were calling it the Flashpoint movie. Flashpoint. I thought that's what they were calling it.
Well, we go ahead and go to the tape.
Because if they're not calling it the Flashpoint, the last 10 minutes of me talking was pointless. But I thought they were calling it Flashpoint.
Currently just listed as the Flash.
Okay. Do me a favor, DC. Do not call it the Flashpoint. Because from what I understood, they were basing it off the Flashpoint, and they were getting the Flashpoint very, that's what they were going for. So, for me, please, for the love of God... Do not call it the Flashpoint movie. I really
but you
don't.
do have Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton as credited cast members. A gal cast as Supergirl.
Yeah, and that's another thing
the
that
actor
I'm,
who played
not hyped about.
Aquaman's dad, Tom Curry. He's listed as a cast member, so that's fascinating. So we might see a little Aquaman in there. We might see a little Aquaman.
Oh, kind of like we saw Aquaman in Batman vs. Superman. The same way.
Okay.
Is that how we're going to see Aquaman?
Maybe.
Because then it's not worth it.
We'll see. Way too much time to pass judgment between now and
you know what?
now and the Flash movie. And, I mean, currently listed as expected November 4th, 2022. So we're a solid
year
at
out.
At least 1 year away. So
this is what I would have.
I'm optimistic. Listen, here's what you need to do. Here's what you need to do for you. You need to watch the Zack Snyder cut of the Justice League.
I'm still not gonna like it.
Give Ezra Miller. You can't say that.
Dude,
give Ezra Miller a shot.
I hated Batman vs. Superman so much.
Okay.
But anyways.
Anyway,
I would have rather, honestly, for the first Flash movie, the first Flash movie, like ever, maybe, live action to this scale. I wish
that's what this is.
I know. I wish they would have stayed away from Batman, and we would have just got a Flash solo movie. Introduced the Rogues.
There's a lot of great rogues in the Flash's world.
Well, I'm just saying that whole group with Mirror Master and Captain Cold and Captain Boomerang.
Mm-hmm.
There's 2 captains on there already. I mean, that's a good sign. So,
more captains, the better.
do you think they argue about who's in charge since they're both captains?
Who's got the higher rank?
Yeah. Also, do you think when they play sports together that they are automatically the 2 captains?
Gotta be.
You have to.
It's gotta be.
It's in
They're
the
always picking the other teams. It's gotta be so annoying to play with those guys.
Oh my god, right? But my point is,
Richards.
like, that's, I don't know.
Right, so you're skeptical at this point. I'm a little more, compared to you, a lot more optimistic. Because I think Ezra Miller is a good fit. I think we're going to have a lot of fun with that movie. It could be a hot mess, right? If they're going to make it too much about, hey, we're trying to fix what came before, it could just get ugly.
It just feels like they're using Batman because they don't fully believe in the project.
Okay.
Like they're using Batman as the saving grace. They'll be like, okay, this movie's going to be okay, but you know what?
Time will tell, man. Date stamp it. We're a year away. We can come back to this a year from now.
And then I'll say I was wrong or right.
Right. This is part of why we do what we do.
It will be I Told You So.
Love it. Okay. Let's keep pressing on. Shazam! Fury of the Gods.
That one I am excited. Oh, I am excited about that one.
Yeah.
Sorry. For some reason, I like.
Tell me more. What are you excited? What are you excited for?
Black Adam for a second.
Black Adam.
Well,
Shazam.
Okay. I'm excited, and then I'm also curious.
Yes.
Okay. Because
great spot to be.
Shazam. At the end of the first one, they kind of set up for the next villain to be that weird caterpillar dude, which
Mr. Mind.
Which, by the way, that's so gross.
Just shivers every time.
Look up his picture on the internet while we talk about this. Because I'm going to do it, and it's going to creep me out.
I don't want to.
Because bug people.
I don't want that on my phone.
I'm not going to lie to you. Like, off topic, bug people are, like, top fear. Like.
Top fear?
Top fear. Like, for instance.
You're talking about, like, life-size bugs when you say bug people?
Like, for instance. So, my actual biggest fear is parasites. So, it falls in line with this. So, a very good example of this is the main villain from Men in Black, the first one.
Yes.
The bug person who takes over that guy.
Yes.
And when he no, I don't do that.
Stuck with you.
I don't do that. It freaks me out.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to look up
people.
Mr. Mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know, it's a very obscure fear, but
I think where you're going with that is we didn't see any of Mr. Mind
correct
during this.
And it doesn't look like they're going to use him. Yeah, he's a creepy dude. Ugh. No, I'm done.
He's not the best.
I'm done.
He's not the best.
So, anyways.
Throw the photo away.
I'm done. But it looks like they're going for the more of the Greek god route, which I love. Because that's a big part of Shazam. So I'm excited to see where they're going to go with this. Because they showed like the artwork for them going to the realm of the gods.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I don't know enough about the 2 villains. The 2 women. I don't know enough about them.
Same.
So that'll be like a fun new like thing. Like, because they went into
Yeah.
the 7 deadly sins in the first one. So it's going to be really cool to see, like...
Which is just a foundational Shazam deal.
We get to learn more about his powers, I think.
Exactly.
And I mean, I could care less about the rest of the kids, to be honest with you. Like,
Wow, that's harsh.
but
Super harsh. Sorry, kids.
Because for me, I want to focus on Zachary Levi.
Okay.
So the other ones, it's just kind of like, you're there.
I'm excited for the Shazam family.
Like, it was a cool, like... I guess I don't know how big of an impact they have in the comics, but maybe it's just me. I like...
Yeah, not very. I think from what I've read of Shazam in the comics, the Shazam family is pretty limited. It's usually Mary and Freddie. So Mary Marvel and Freddie... I have Freddie Freeman in my mind. Is that actually right, or is that just the Atlanta Braves first baseman?
I don't know.
It's definitely the Atlanta Braves first baseman.
Well, because I liked them in the first movie.
Yeah.
But for me, it was more like the power of family and then, numbers. Mm-hmm. They needed the numbers.
Sure.
So,
sure.
I mean, I'm sure it will work out great in the second movie. I'm not too worried about it, but...
I really enjoyed the relationship in the first movie.
I do too.
With Billy and with Freddie and the rest. Excuse me, it was the two of them primarily, but then the other members of their family start getting...
yeah, it is pretty cool.
Involved. So I'm all for seeing more of that. In the appropriate dose, because you're right,
it can be too
about
much.
Shazam. It can be too much. It absolutely can be.
Because I didn't go in there to watch a Power Rangers movie, okay? I watched that movie, and I loved it.
How dare you say you didn't go to see a Power Rangers movie?
No, I just said I went to saw... No, I don't want to go see this as a Power Rangers movie. I saw the live-action Power Rangers movie, and I loved it. I liked it a lot.
I
did not get enough love.
I didn't even see it.
It was actually not bad.
That's great. So anyway, not a lot that was known other than, like you said, I think it's fun that they're leaning into the magic side of it with the gods. That's great. Keep expanding on that. And there's a lot of... I feel like the Shazam power set, there's a lot of undefined limits to what his powers could be. Like,
oh yeah, I think he could take on Superman because he can take on Superman, but he should have an edge almost because he's got magic.
Right. Speaking of edge and magic, there's our guy Black Adam showing up. Dwayne Johnson dropping his teaser.
We're going right into the next one.
I think it was a natural transition opportunity.
No, it was great.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah,
but
I felt good about it.
Just, by the way, we did actually get a little bit. We actually did get footage of that one, though.
Yes.
We did get...
Yep.
It looked like it was like the first... Well, maybe not the first minute, but it looked like it was 3 minutes into the movie.
Yeah.
They find where Black Adam is.
Roughly a minute worth of footage.
And he just comes in and disintegrates a dude immediately. So that looks really good, and the hood, like hiding the costume, that's actually really like makes you want to see more. But
there are few individuals as physically imposing.
Yeah,
as
The
Dwayne
Rock.
Johnson. Oh my!
Wow.
So what a great casting choice for a villain.
Oh yeah, and he's wanted to play this for years, so I think it will be good just because of his dedication to it. Mm-hmm. But what I'm most excited for on the entire movie is the rest of the cast. We get a Dr. Fate with Pierce Brosnan, like, by the way, which fantastic casting choice.
Yeah.
That's what pisses me off the most, I think. We didn't see like a clip of him in the suit.
Sure.
That's gonna be so badass. And then we're gonna have Hawkman,
Adam
Smasher, and
Cyclone? Which truly, like, I
don't care about Adam Smasher or Cyclone.
Adam Smasher, I've read some comics with Adam Smasher in it. Playing with Hawkman, of course.
But Hawkman's a cool one.
Woo.
Hawkman could be a badass.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping they make him a badass.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping they don't just, like,
kill them
off
some
of these characters.
Well, they can kill Cyclone.
I think we're in agreement. Cyclone can go.
Adam Smasher's a
we're not
maybe.
going to shed tears over. But Hawkman has to stick around.
Don't you dare kill Pierce Brosnan. I swear to you. You'll all be dead to me. I swear.
Well, there could be another Dr. Fate. Like, maybe Pierce goes down.
Well, I know there can be
another. You're latched on to Pierce.
There is another... Okay, so there have been multiple
people... I gave my heart to Bob Pat. You're giving your heart to old Piercey B.
There have been multiple people to take up the mantle of Dr. Fate, so I don't have a problem with it. But please use Pierce as much as you can before you're like, okay, he's dead now, we're going to give it to the next guy.
Fair enough.
That's all I ask.
That's great. Yeah, love the characters that are going to be in this film. I think against Black Adam, right? Like, I don't think there's going to be a team up here. I think they're going to be...
Which I hope they get wrecked for a little bit, you know? Just to show how badass Black Adam is.
Yeah, part of what I really enjoyed with this little bit of footage that we got to see is... Looks like the footage that we saw is Black Adam being revealed in the modern day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, and maybe I'm just reading too much into this. I don't know that the bulk of the movie is set in the modern day.
I don't know either.
Yeah, so
it's got to be.
It's an origin story, so there'll be
America.
You would think, yeah, you would think, but I wonder if it's not like 30 years in the past or something
I hope it's
along
not
those
like
lines.
that. I hope it's like ancient times, and then something happens,
Okay.
and then he comes back. Because also at the end of this movie, they have to set up the third Shazam movie, or maybe they'll just have Black Adam versus Shazam, and that's the name of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like Batman versus Superman.
Yeah.
Hopefully you don't disappoint me.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah,
But anyways.
We'll see. Kind of a weird, like, just out of all these movies, a weird solo property for Black Adam to be getting his own movie. Like, that's just, which one of these is not like the others? Like, Shazam makes sense, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Batman, and Black Adam?
Before Green Lantern?
Exactly.
Green Lantern should have had one before Aquaman. Green Lantern should have had one before Shazam.
Well, he did.
Green Lantern should have had one before Black Adam. No, that one doesn't count. We don't count that one. That one's not real. That was a fever dream. Actually, it doesn't exist anymore. So, anyways.
It's just out.
I don't know what you're talking about. Anyways. But anywho. Yes, he should have had one way before.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you could make the argument for a few other characters probably before Black Adam.
We'll see. Listen, Dwayne Johnson's a great hype man, so he's going to bring all the marketing prowess that he has at his disposal to make the movie look cool. What do I want to say? I don't know how confident I am in this movie being outstanding. I think it'll be entertaining. I think there'll be some great action
We're
scenes.
going to get some fights, dude.
Yep.
That's going to be the funnest part.
Yep.
Or the most fun. Whatever.
Yep.
Funnest.
Good for you. Hey, way to bring that quality grammar in and then right back out again.
Funnest is better.
I'm truly not sure what kind of like storytelling merit it's gonna have, because Black Adam needs Shazam.
Correct.
Just does. Like, we can't just have Black Adam and then Black Adam 2 and then Black Adam 3. It's like, wait a minute. That just doesn't work.
I mean, Black Adam has always been a villain, but he's also kind of like been an anti-hero in a sense too, because he starts out as a good dude.
The Venom of the DC universe?
In a way, but probably less heroic.
Yeah.
Like, more like leans toward the villain.
Ears on the villain side. Talking the villain.
Honestly, my best comparison, for myself anyways, I compare him to a lot like Marvel's Namor. Except Namor tends to lean more heroic than villain. And
correct.
Because Namor will put his nation first, and Namor's a dick. You know what I mean?
He is.
So, and that's where, like...
Truly is.
And that's where Black Adam sits. Like, he rules a nation, and he's a dick. So, that's, like, my best comparison.
Yeah. I feel pretty skeptical about this one. Just from a pure storytelling perspective, I'm not sure what the story is that we're going to get that's going to be really that valuable. I think the visuals are going to be outstanding. Looking forward to that, so I'm not poo-pooing the movie. I just think there's more story to be told in the Shazam movie, the Flash movie, the Batman movie, and then we still need to talk a little Aquaman. As well. Aquaman: The Lost Kingdom.
I'm actually excited about that one. I like the first one.
What are you excited for, Riles? Because I want to look up real quick. I don't remember when. Beg pardon. When that movie's supposed to be released.
I am mostly excited for Black Manta to come back because I enjoyed their rivalry is not necessarily the right word, but I like their like. We're just gonna go with rivalry. That sounds like the right word.
Yeah.
Like, I like their rivalry in the first one. Like, and their fight scene was amazing. If you want to see good superhero fight scenes, Aquaman won, and I will take that to the grave. That was the most impressive part of that movie. It was just, unironically, it was very, very fluid. Like, the flow of those fight scenes, it's a lot like the entrance fight scene for Age of Ultron, where it just kind of flows.
Yep.
I loved it. I loved every part of it.
No doubt.
For the fights.
Action scenes in that movie were outstanding.
I think
outstanding visuals.
Same director, so we're gonna get the same kind of fights, and it looks like Orm's back, so he's gonna bring back Ocean Master,
which I love. Orm has an opportunity to be a great.
Thank you for not killing him off.
Character, correct. Well done. There could be a really cool dynamic with Orm and Arthur Curry.
That is what DC is doing well for the most part. They've kept their villains alive. They kept the one doctor dude from the first Shazam alive.
Yep.
Aquaman's villain. Both of Aquaman villains are alive. Yep. They had there's another one. I'm trying to think of the other ones.
Cheetah in the Wonder Woman movie.
She lived. I haven't seen that movie yet.
Oh, spoil it for you. Yeah.
Well, no, that's fine.
She hasn't died.
Good. But there's another point. There's another character that doesn't die.
Right.
I mean, they do.
They're not quick to kill off the villains.
Marvel, take notes. That's the one thing Marvel fails at. Villains. They don't keep them alive.
Pretty disposable.
They're just like...
Yeah.
I think it's just because they don't want to tie them down to like a 3-movie deal and then not use them. But anywho... Yeah. So that's what I'm most excited about.
I'm looking forward to it as well. Like the first movie was, I think, outstanding. When you have the same production team, the same cast coming back intact, I think there's plenty of story to be told. Like, the dude is living in the ocean, which is massive, and there's a lot of history of Atlantis that can be unfolded. So I'm curious where they're going to kind of manufacture the conflict in this movie now that Arthur has come back into the role of King of Atlantis. So what's the threat going to be, right? Where's that conflict?
What's Black Manta bringing to the table that's so powerful?
Probably going to be generated a lot by Black Manta, which is great because that's an outstanding villain. They crushed the design in that first movie.
Oh yeah,
that
talk
was
about
great.
Beautifully well done, comic accurate costume that
love to
looks
see him come
super
back.
Duper dopey.
Yeah.
If done wrong.
Yes.
And they did it right.
Yes. Would love to see him come back. Bigger, better, and stronger than ever.
Yes.
So, very excited for that.
And honestly, I hope they don't bring in another villain because they still have Orm in there that they can use for like a backstabber.
Yep.
And then having Black Manta, that dude should be able to carry your entire movie. Yeah. And I think he will.
Yeah.
Don't give me another one. And then, hopefully they kind of, build... Yeah, I want them to build the Aquaman world. I want them to build the Atlantis world. I want them to show, like... the more of the magic side, because that's what Mara is. She uses more magic than anything. So it'd be kind of interesting to see Aqualad come into play.
Sure.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So not a lot seen from the little bits of behind the scenes footage that we did see. Mostly just cast members that we enjoyed in the first movie. So know just about nothing about the story, and that's fine. Again, there's a year between now and when that next Hawkman movie comes out. Actually, December of 2022. So we're over a year out. But just excited that they finally got that rolling because you can lose momentum right pretty quickly if you don't keep pumping these puppies out. So here's something I would like to see. I would love to see, if like you're going to do something with the horse, I'm excited. I would love to see in this Aquaman movie, I'd love to see it start bringing these characters together, right?
Yes.
Flash, Batman,
I think
Shazam. It'd be great. Wonder Woman's out there. It'd be great to start seeing
them kind of come together.
Interconnectivity. I think that'd be a really cool opportunity.
I think the movie to do that too will be the Flashpoint movie. So
but holistically, that's something I think you and I are both in agreement. We're looking for is, hey, these solo projects have been great. I think they really have been. Like, Aquaman's been good. Wonder Woman's been really good. That might be it. No, Shazam. Sorry, Shazam was really good, and so they've got an opportunity to keep building. And at some point in the not-too-distant future, and frankly, it needs to be with this next series of movies, there has to be more intentional...
Don't throw them together just to throw them together.
No.
Build it in these movies.
Yep.
Take your time.
There's
Let's
just
see
got to
what's
be
coming.
something. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and then Legion of Super Pets, or just the Super Pets movies coming out, so that should be good.
What do we want to say about that?
That's what I just wanted to
That's
say.
it? Okay.
Actually, really funny fact. So I was going through the trailers today to just catch up.
There you go.
Because I didn't catch the teaser. Like, I missed Aquaman and I missed Shazam. So anyways, I was like, oh, yeah, Legion of Super Pets, because I know The Rock is voicing Crypto, and Kevin Hart is voicing Ace the Bat Dog, which I was not amused about originally, because I love Kevin Hart, but that just didn't seem like a good fit.
Oh my goodness.
But dude, by the way, they have John Krasinski in that movie. They also have Keanu Reeves. Just keep that in your mind, okay? So, anyways, I go to click on the trailer because I was like, you know what? I want to hear what Kevin Hart and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson sound like for these characters. So the first one I click, it wasn't even the trailer. I clicked on a video game trailer, and it was like the lamest video game trailer. It's like, hey, come with me, and then it's just Crypto shooting, like, it looked like a phone game.
Right.
I was so mad. I was like, because I did a double take, because it's like, is this the movie? Because this animation is garbage. It's like, this is the worst. And then it said, like, it had all the video game consoles come on. I'm like, well, that was a waste of a minute and a half. But they did show like a 10-second clip of the animated movie if anyone's curious.
Right.
I might go watch it.
There you go.
But
one thing before we wrap up, we haven't touched on. They released a trailer for the Peacemaker show.
Oh, I watched that.
Did you?
Did you watch it?
Did watch it. I'm not going to watch the show. And there's nothing against the trailer. I didn't see anything there that I'm going, yeah, I want to watch that. But that's where I'm at.
For me,
Feel free to take an entirely different perspective.
for me, it looks like it's not going to be bad.
Agreed. I would agree.
I think Vigilante has a potential to be a really cool character.
Yes.
The one thing, I think this is probably why you're not attached to it either,
Yeah.
and this is my one big concern, because the only thing they said, they're going to have him take out a senator, but I'm like, you need a DC villain for him to go after, or a DC hero for him to go after, to make me care.
Sure.
Because if he's just going to go knock off a senator, the senator has no meaning to me. So, and maybe the senator, maybe I'm wrong, I haven't done my research, maybe the senator is an actual DC villain in disguise, and I don't know. So, we'll find out. But
that's a good point.
That's my whole thing. I think,
point.
but like him hugging a bald eagle for a minute is quite hilarious.
Yeah, I mean,
It will be good. It's James Gunn.
who that character is or was presented to be in the Suicide Squad movie is
Gonna continue.
what we got
And
right
he thinks
in
he's
the trailer.
he thinks he's a superhero.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So, if you wanted more of that, that's what you're gonna get, and that's fine. So I don't look at that and go, this is a waste of time. But it's similar to what we just touched on briefly, not that, maybe 15 minutes ago, which is we're getting a Black Adam movie. Huh.
Yeah, we're getting a Peacemaker
We're gonna
show.
get-
What?
Peacemaker show. Wow. The CW is making a Green Arrow show, or has made a Green Arrow show and a Flash show. HBO can't get someone to make a Green Arrow show. That's not what I'm asking for, but
I'd
that's
rather
my
have a
point.
movie, I think,
Right,
at this
right.
point,
But my
yes.
point is,
No, I
HBO
agree.
can't make a show about Dick Grayson.
Nightwing. Well, I mean, they have Titans, kind of. It doesn't count, though. I know what you mean.
Yeah. So, my excitement level is just so minimal for that. I'm just like, okay.
Again, I think that's what it needs. Like,
You're right. It
We
needs
didn't get
some kind
hyped
of like legit DC connectivity for us to really
like how
get on
hyped
board.
were you about Suicide Squad until you saw Starro? Like, I was way more hyped after Starro came in than before, because I'm like,
Sure.
well, who are they fighting?
Yeah, I don't remember if I had a change in excitement level with Starro. I think I was
I
just.
did. I remember that for me.
I think I was just pretty skeptical from the get go, because it's like the first one sucked. We're doing this again.
For sure.
So anyway, hopeful that some of that content that's going to be coming our way in the coming 12 months is going to be great. I think part of what's exciting at this stage is that outside of, again, as we touched on very early, the Batman trailer, there's a lot we don't know about the rest of the movie. So we've got
content,
a lot, right? We've got a lot more that's coming down the pike. Very excited to start seeing teaser trailers, to see more revealed, to have more to discuss, more to unravel. But it is good. It is refreshing. It is a crisp tasting of Le Monde Chalot Le Croix.
And then to end it, we have Eternals the next time we talk.
How about that? That's right. That's right. We'll do a little instant reaction of Eternals for you. So get ready for that stuff. Very excited for that. But I think that's what we got, Riles. Another solid episode.
That's it. As always, like, follow, subscribe, share, tell your parents, and then have your parents tell their parents. And,
right.
And then
we're really going for the parents. Really going for the parents.
You know, whoever else.
Right.
So, on that note, as always, Godspeed.
You're welcome.